Happy Sabbath, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to JKIA TV, the Toys Man Black Africa. Yesterday, Nairobi Metropolitan was plunged into darkness. This also included Kiambu, that stretched all the way to Thika and beyond, Lemuru and beyond, Kajiado and beyond, and many other parts of the country. And many people were left with many questions, because a vital installation, that is the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, was plunged into darkness. And it looked like even the generators, the backup generators, were not working. And from all walks of life, from Germany to New Zealand, from London to New York, to Uganda, this channel received so many calls asking what was happening. And for sure, nobody knew what was happening, because what we just saw is blackout. No explanation was coming from the Kenya Power and Lightning Company. And many people were left with many questions. And it took a lot of time before power was restored. Behind the darkness, people were asking many questions. And the first question was, what was this that was happening in the country? What was going on during that time? Wakati unajua giza, we know that it is the thieves who love the darkness. What could have been happening? Was there something that was on transit that Kenyan did not want to have a grip of what was happening? Was something landing at JKIA or somewhere else? What was happening during this time? And when you look at the people who should actually be blamed, and I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to look at these people, and you see how inefficiency and tribalism has destroyed our country. When you look at the Ministry of Energy, it is headed by the CS is David Churchill, from one community which does not require any explanation. You look at Kengen, you find the CEO is Serem. You go to Kenya Power, the name is Joseph Siror. All this from the same community. You go to EPRA, the name is Kipto, who is the CEO, same community. You go to Transport, Kipchumba Murkomen, same community. You go to Kenya Pipeline, you meet Joe Sang, one community. And then it begs the question, why should one community dominate the energy docket, the energy ministry? What is this that is so important that it is only one community that can be able to handle what was happening? And in this case, what is even the need of communicating in the official language, English or Kiswahili, or even the national language, which is Kiswahili? They should use the mother tongue. And it doesn't reflect the face of Kenya. If you ask me, every ministry should reflect the face of Kenya. And in this video, I want us to crack this darkness and see whether we can be able to see what was happening or why it happened. For one, no explanation was convincing from any of these people. We expected Kipchumba Murkomen and David Churchill and the man in charge of Kenya Power, Joseph Siror, to give an explanation. They owe an explanation to Kenyans. And the first thing that comes out of this darkness is that the ministry is headed by very inefficient leaders. All these leaders are very inefficient. Why were they? Where were they? Why is it that they are not backup in the JKIA, which is a very vital installation? Why risk the rise of Kenyans? How are the aeroplanes landing, if I may ask? What was happening? So this is the epitome of inefficiency, and it is very shocking. The second thing that comes out of this darkness is corruption. This could be one of the most corrupt ministry in Eastern Central Africa, because you remember the Auditor General told us the other day that Kenyans are paying for electricity that they have not consumed. Now, how do you explain this? That you are being billed to pay for something that you have not consumed. How much have been paid and has not been consumed? And when this is happening, we find a parastatal that is claiming that is not making profit. What are you telling Kenyans? So you can see how corruption has eaten the core of our nation. You can see the fruits of corruption. Corruption kills. Corruption can destroy the fabrics that hold the nation together. Something else that comes out of this darkness is tribalism and its ugly face. Tribalism is one of the major cause of the many problems that you are encountering in this country. Tribalism is something that is very archaic. Tribalism is when you look at people from the language they are speaking instead of competence, instead of the gray matter that is in their head. You look at the number of nouns and verbs and adjectives that comes from your community, which is wrong in my view. There's no way tribalism is going to save this nation. There is no way at any given time that tribalism is going to save this country. And I think the government should wake up now and try to come up with the face of Kenya in all ministries, because we cannot have two communities dominating the rest of Kenyans. And when you look at this ministry, the energy ministry is very lucrative. It is one of the ministries where money changes hands very fast and where money comes in very fast. Again, when I look at the national security, it was at risk, ladies and gentlemen. Suppose the Al-Shabaab decided to strike at that time. What could have happened to a vital installation? What could have happened to a great nation? And that is why many people were calling. That is why many people were asking, are we safe? Are we really safe? So these people who risk the lives of Kenyans, those people who risk the national security of a nation, should be brought to book. And I think it is high time the President of the Republic of Kenya, because all said and done, the buck stops with him. That's the time now he should crack the whip and align the ministries, because what Kenyans want is people who are competent, people who are deliverings, people who cannot risk the rights of the nation like we are seeing now. Again, what comes out of this darkness is that Kenya is not prepared. It's not usually prepared to handle crisis or emergencies, because even if it was an emergency, then we should have mitigating factors. We should have people coming up with methods of how they are going to handle such situations. I don't know how safe the country is. Maybe, I don't know. But when I look at this darkness, it tells a story. It tells a dark story. It tells a story of something that would need to be explained to Kenyans. The government owes an explanation to Kenyans, the taxpayers, and in fact, Kenya should be compensated, because you see, you have paid for electricity and then all of a sudden you are plunged into darkness. I know there are some people who incurred huge losses because of the incompetence of this kind of leadership that is coming from these bodies. Because all said and done, we have a country and everything should be done to ensure there is order, whatever the case, whatever the time, no matter what it costs. May you have a lovely weekend. I remain yours truly, Gracious Kamel, the Tourist Man, Black Africa. I just ask you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, give this video a thumbs up. Bye-bye.